Hello, how you doing? I'm Craig Parkinson. You are listening to the Two Shot Podcast. Sit yourself down, pop the kettle on. We're going to have a nice old chat. Who's it with this week? I'm going to tell you right now. So here we are again. How are you? Good week? Thanks so much for downloading us, subscribing. This is the Two Shot Podcast. It's Thursday. It's episode 19, where myself and producer Griff went down the road to the London to have a brew with Thomas Coombeses. It was one of those episodes again. We didn't know each other. We hadn't met. But I thought he might be interesting, and you know what? It turns out I was right. I'm not normally right, but I was on this occasion. He's a lovely guy. If you want to check out what he's done, just go onto the IMDb page, whack in Thomas Coombeses. You can see what he's done. He's got, The Hat and Garden drama out on ITV, a drama written by my friend Lenny James coming onto Sky, I think, in the new year. But of course, this being the Two Shot Podcast, we don't talk about any of that. But we do get down to some really interesting stuff, and I'm thrilled that you came on. So big up, Thomas Coombeses. Thank you. And also, while I'm saying thank you, I have to say thank you to our lovely friends at MAISON BERTAUX, the gorgeous patisserie in Soho. If you're passing, pop in there for a cup of tea and a lovely posh cake. We sometimes get messed around with places where we need to record, and if we can't record in, like we have done in the past, people's homes or their dressing rooms, then my friend Tania Wade says it's all right, pop down into the cellar and you can do it there. Into the cellar. It sounds horrible. It's actually not. It's really lovely. Now, what else have I got to tell you? I've got good news and I've got some bad news. What do you want first? Okay, I'll give you the bad first. I don't know if you remember, a few weeks ago, I was telling you, and I was very excited about the fact that I was lining up quite a big Christmas special. It's my own fault. I shouldn't have announced it before we'd recorded it. The thing is, the stars are just not aligning for everybody because there's just more than one guest. So what we're going to do, the good news is we are going to do it, but we're going to do it as a New Year special. We're going to do it in January, and we'll kick off 2018 in a big way. So don't worry, fret not. But, it's hard enough arranging these things when it's just one person. But when you've got 6 people to sort the dates out with, things can get a bit tricky, as I'm finding. Enough of this waffle. I shall see you at the end. This is episode 19 with the very wonderful Thomas Coombeses. Enjoy.
Hiya, producer Griff here. Just before you have a listen to this episode of the podcast, I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping. I think Craig mentioned it on a previous episode, and he's certainly been putting the word out on Twitter, but we are going to do a best of the Two Shot podcast at the end of the year, late December or something like that. But rather than curating it ourselves, we'd like to involve you lot and your best bits and the bits that have been useful to you, or your funniest bits, or the bits that have moved you most from the first 20-odd episodes. We've had a bunch of suggestions in already, so thanks a lot for them. In the interest of streamlining the process, and so I don't have to troll through hours and hours and hours of audio that I've already listened to a bunch of times, here's what I'd like you to do, please. Tweet us, message us on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, or send us email, twoshotpod@gmail.com, with your suggestions of your favourite bits. Send us your name. We'll give you a shout out on the show. But most importantly, include the name of the episode and, even more importantly, the time in the episode where your favourite bit occurs. Just makes it a little bit easier for me. Anyway, thanks a lot. Sorry for the interruption. On with the show.
It's just for it's for the bonus content, really.
Yeah.
For the people who back us, you being one of them, you'll get all the bonus content.
Quid up.
Look, every little helps. Someone said the other day, "Oh, finally, I've got my wages through and I've made a little contribution. I'm sorry, it's not much." And I said, "It's every little helps."
You're right.
You
If
know what I mean?
everyone did it, if every bastard who listened who did it, gave you something, then it'd add up, wouldn't it?
Well, let's make sure we don't start the podcast by pleading with people to bung us a quid. I do that enough. I bore people enough in the intros about money. Tom, how are you doing, man? Is that brew all right?
It is lovely. Really nice.
Fantastic. That's
Thank
what we
you.
want. A nice brew to start off this chat.
I didn't know. Is it actually recording now then?
You see.
It is.
There
I
we
didn't
go.
even
We
know.
start-
That's seamless.
the skills of the podcast.
Seamless. I didn't even know. But
We
yeah.
just do it.
It's
Let's
actually
have
a
a,
re-
let's. Should we have a slurp?
Oh yeah.
It's too hot. Somebody told me off the other day. Not told me off, but went, "Oh, why are you doing that?" Because when I have a cup of tea, when the kettle's boiled, and this is so dead podcast, but I always put a little drop of cold water in the top.
In the top of a tea.
In the top of the tea, just to cool it down a bit. I don't like it too hot. And then I went to a Scandinavian cafe, as you do.
Yeah.
And they automatically popped a little bit of cold
Without even asking?
in my brew, without even asking. So I'm wondering if that's...
That's a Scandi thing.
Scandi
Or are you
thing?
Scandi? Yeah.
I'm definitely not, no. I'll have to... I haven't done Who Do They Think You Are? But I don't think there's any Blackpool/Scandi in me, to be honest.
Is it Blackpool you're from? Right?
Yeah, did you know I'm from Blackpool?
No, I didn't.
Where are you from?
I'm from Essex.
Whereabouts?
I am from Southend, Leigh-on-Sea, in particular Leigh-on-Sea, but it's part of Southend, basically. Actually, I heard Tamsin, she called it deepest, darkest Essex or something. She was like, I'm not from deepest, darkest Essex, which is, yeah, where I'm from. Those are the...
We've had a few lovely people from Essex.
Oh, right.
Where forgive my
Again,
knowledge.
I'm pretty crack. Essex is big, and people go, "Oh, I'm from Essex," and I'll go, "Oh, yeah," and they'll tell me, and I'll go, "I don't know where that is," because it's huge. And there's like the really green bits, and then there's the more near London. I'm sure his is actually a bit more near London as well.
Yeah,
than-
I think it is. I think it's at the end of, possibly the end of the Central Line. Forgive me if I'm wrong,
Right,
listeners.
which I count as London-based. It's not even Essex. That's not even. But that's Southend. Yeah, it's you probably know it's on the estuary. So it's on the sea, basically.
Ish, I do, ish.
Ish, yeah. So that's where I grew up and still am. Yeah.
Oh, you still live there now?
Still there now, yeah. And it's only like 45, 50-minute commute into Fenchurch Street, and I'm just used to that. Do you know Ricky Champ? He lives out that way as well. I did Him and Her with him. He's
I do. He played the brother, didn't he?
Yeah,
and the guy that got married.
yes, the guy in the last
Oh,
series.
he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's
amazing.
great.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Yeah, we've got lots of mutual friends. We've been living there the whole time. In the
Oh, you
same
live
town.
together?
No.
Oh.
No.
It's a flat share, no?
No.
Are you still at home?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. I'm between there and I'm between my brother's flat in Bermondsey, where I'm slowly emigrating because he's not there so much anymore. And I kind of need to make the move to London, but
sneak
maybe.
into Bermondsey, nick it off him.
That's what I'm doing. He's been very kind. He's got a much better job than me, and he's like, so that's what I'm kind of doing. But
So is he
Ricky, I wasn't actually. No, we knew the same people growing up, but we didn't know. I didn't know we did until we did Him and Her together, and then we're like, fuck, you know that person, and we grew up in the same town, and now we hang out loads. But yeah, didn't know. It's crazy that. Didn't know.
It's a very small world, small business.
Yeah, and Southend's are very small, so I can't believe we didn't meet each other growing up. But
And you just spoke about your brother then. What did your brother do?
oh god, this is really bad. I don't actually. He's much cleverer than me. He was in environmental sustainability. He's very, very good with environment. But he works
And sustainability.
Yeah, and
He's good at that shit.
But he works in Sadiq Khan's office at the moment, doing about sustainable housing and making that trying to make it affordable, trying to literally, make London a more a more environmentally friendly place, housing wise,
Right.
making it more sustainable and whatnot. See, I really sound like I know what I'm talking about, because I
No,
don't.
but even you saying that sounds like, wow, someone's trying to make a change.
Yeah,
This is
he's
good
what he's always
news.
done. That's what he went to study it, and so it's always been him who you wouldn't get to act or be on anything that I do in a million years.
Right.
He's very clever and not introverted, but yeah, he wouldn't do what I do. If paid him. No, I couldn't do what he does.
Was it just you and your brother growing up?
Yeah. But yeah, just very different. Look a lot alike. Like he goes, if I did a bit of a dodgy advert, he'd go, "Oh no," because he thought you're going to get recognised for it. A bit of a similar look. So he'd always go, "Try not to do any cheesy like adverts or anything." I know I'm going to get grief for it. And so yeah, but
Good relationship, you two?
yeah. No, we fought a lot as brothers, youngers, but no, he's brilliant. He's really looked after us and helped us a lot, because I'm not living exclusively in London. Like, have my place when you need to. He's not there so much, but when he was, have my bed. I'll stay around my girlfriends. When I'm filming, when you did an early pickup or whatever.
Yeah,
he was just like, stay there. Just so generous. And I think I might have been a bit screwed without him, because a lot of things you have to have a London base for filming.
You do now,
and I have to blag it a lot and go, I'm London based, and then go, Ben, my brother, can I stay here, and here? And then he goes, no, it's fine. It's never a problem. So
Am I right in thinking he's older than you?
yes, he's 3 years older than me.
Right.
Yeah.
And your parents, what did they do for a living? Or what do they do for a living?
They did. My mum is still, she is a legal secretary, and she always has been in Essex. And my dad was a service engineer for a double glazing company. And retired about 4 or 5 years ago, but he's still doing odds and sods. And he's like a cross between Del Boy, Fred Flintstone, and like Homer Simpson, basically. He's a funny guy. Yeah, he always reckons I'm doing this because of him, but
He's taking the credit.
yeah, it's like you get your
That means he's proud of you. That's good stuff.
yeah, they both are.
Really lovely. I have to apologise about the noise. We're recording today in the heart of Soho. My very lovely friend, Tania Wade of MAISON BERTAUX, coffee and cake shop. Pop in if you fancy a lovely French patisserie.
And the teas are lovely.
Some space. The teas are good, but they are doing some roadworks across the road, so I have to apologise for that.
That is no bother.
And Southend, what was that like growing up there?
Yeah, it was good. I loved it, and hence why I'm still. Well, as I say, it's more Lee where I'm. Lee's a bit more quaint, a bit more. There's like cockle sheds and then literally 5-10 minute drive up the road, your Southend, and that's the more the arcades, amusements, the longest pleasure pier in Europe. Fact,
I'm very well being from a coastal town myself.
Yeah, you're aware of that.
I'm aware of that. But does it have that seaside mentality? Because I've got a bit of a thing about it. Because I grew up where I grew up, and I'm very, very proud.
Do you mean a bit closed, a bit more like...
Well, in the off-season. I find the off-season...
A bit depressing.
Well, it all gets a bit dark.
Yeah.
In every aspect.
Yeah.
I find that with Brighton as well. And I love both places.
So you don't like to go there?
No, I do. I go back and support wherever I can, and my parents are still in Blackpool now, so obviously I go back, and I've got a child, so we go back and see the grandparents. But I don't know, there's something about growing up in a seaside town that fills me with a bit of fear sometimes.
Fear.
Or maybe that's just my upbringing, which we won't go into. It ain't my podcast.
I don't know. I mean, it was... I did really enjoy growing up there and like being on the sea, and I do miss it. If I've been in London, which I am a lot now for bits and pieces, work and whatnot, and staying at my brother's, I miss it. And I go back, I get off the train and the sea air hit, and I'm like, and lots of friends are still there. And, but yeah, I did grow up. There's loads of clubs. I didn't enjoy the club scene. It's very much Southend. There was which was Talk of the South, which is now Talk, and there's lots of like
we had
ravey clubs.
we had a Talk of the Coast in Blackpool.
Oh, really?
Which was
Talk of the Coast. I didn't realise it's a chain.
I don't think it is.
Oh, Talk of the
but
South.
this was Talk of the Coast, and it was
Talk of the Coast. So that's
Talk of the Coast.
Talk of the Coast.
Talk of the Coast.
But you couldn't abbreviate it. Because ours was Talk of the South, so it was called Tots. You're going Tots, yeah. But you can't go.
No. Because this wasn't a club. This was like a cabaret club that was sort of etched onto the side of a hotel where we would have sort of big cabaret.
Oh, it's nothing like what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about a hardcore.
Yeah, dirty, like smoke-filled, like
sticky carpets.
There's loads of them around Southend, and that was never really my bag. Yeah. But we had to. I pretended to like it growing up.
Peer pressure.
And, peer pressure, and yeah, but yeah, I'd say I made some brilliant friends growing up at school and whatnot. There's definitely as it's like an unhelpful sort of lad culture, which I guess a lot of people have growing up. But still exists probably a lot in schools for boys and that kind of. And there's still a lot of my mates, to be fair, are still. Yeah, from that, if I find myself adopting almost a different mentality back home with back home friends.
Yeah.
Than maybe amongst friends I've made in my career and at drama school and whatnot.
Well, it is funny when you move to a different environment. It's like I know when my wife goes, because she's from Northern Ireland, and when she goes back home, and I don't see her for a couple of days, and she comes back to our house. She's got this very, very strong Northern Irish accent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's like, I suppose it's like when I go back up north, or if me and Griff are around, we're going up north, we're going wherever podcasting. If I'm back in Manchester or the Northwest, I do sort of adopt a much more of a stronger accent or a stronger mentality, a different mentality, I suppose.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you definitely do. Yeah, and you can understand Susan then when she comes back. She's so thick.
I just can't understand her at all. So what was school life like growing up there in Leigh?
Yeah.
Happy times?
Generally, yeah, on the whole, yeah. And there was good drama lessons, which I loved.
What, even in primary school? Of course, you've got your nativities. And
nativities, and I remember I played the fairy godmother in the Isle of Wight. I think we had a school trip and we performed out there. That was it. That was a junior school. Yeah. So they were always quite. Yeah, I did quite a bit of drama there, and I was into it from fairly young. School was fine.
Do you think that came from you, or was it something that came from your mum and dad? Was your parents ever artistic in any way in that respect?
No, they're not. They're not artistic.
Are they outgoing?
They are outgoing, and my dad in particular. They're both outgoing, to be fair, but my dad is just, you can't walk down the street without someone shouting, "Ed!" like that, and everyone seems to know him.
Popular guy.
Yeah, he just talks to everyone, whether they like it or not. Like, kind of like, so. But lovely,
I think that's lovely, though. Don't think people do enough of that, to be honest.
Yeah, he will. Yeah. Oh, it's great. Pain in the ass some ways, but love. I wouldn't change him. Like, just the most, yeah. So people say I'm more like him, and my brother's a lot more like my mum. A bit more introverted, a bit more clever. Yeah. So, but no, they weren't in the art. The only other art person in it, my uncle is an actor in Australia, and he has been for years, since he moved from Essex. The only other person in my family that's in the industry, yeah. So I just got it from, I don't know.
Do you think it's always been there, really, in
possibly.
a way?
I was always a bit of a show-off as a kid. I hope to think I'm not so much now.
In a way, we all are.
In a way, we all are. But there's definite videos of me. Mum reckons I'm like the donkey in Shrek, like, pick me. Like, there's videos of it.
There's videos. We'll speak to your mum. We'll get some of those for the Two Shot Pod family, the backers. We'll put some of that on.
Oh God, there's plenty to come back to haunt me. But yeah, like So my friend went to a little drama school. One woman, Maureen Mitchell. She was like my first drama teacher. We were 6. We went to. That was my first. We did like drama festivals through her. Did mime class, solo acting, duologues. So yeah, that was my first real experience of it. But I was just going along.
This was outside of school?
That was outside. That was a little drama school this lady ran And
in Lee?
In Lee, yeah. Or in Westcliff, to be specific, which is basically Southend again. And she was lovely. Yeah, she was like in her 60s when we went there, and she'd been to Lambda. She was a proper trained actress. She was brilliant. And we did speech and drama and lots about how to use your voice properly. But I just bundled along halfway through when they were about to put on a play for this festival, and they were doing Charlie Brown. And my mate was like, yeah, just come along, it'll be all right. And I say I'd never done any acting really before then. And yeah, they bunged me in. This kid with a skateboard comes on and skates across the stage. I don't even know if there's any skateboarders in Charlie Brown, but I was obsessed with skateboards at the time. So they fitted me in. And that was just from then. And my best mate, Neil, who's still my best mate, who got me into that, he sort of, we did drama together and at school and GCSEs. And I always thought he'd do it as well, but then he just fell by the wayside and he didn't carry it on. But he's the one that definitely sort of said, come along to this cast, let's do it. Like,
he kind of opened the door, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that was, I'd say, my first experience in.
And secondary school, was drama on the syllabus then?
Yeah, it was.
And where did you go?
I went to Dean's in Thundersley, which is in Essex. But yeah, there wasn't. Yeah, it was fine again. Yeah, there was lots I didn't like about school. As in, I'm not very good at numbers, and so maths and whatnot I struggled with massively. But drama was a real outlet, and they were really good drama evenings and plays putting on. Bugsy Malone we did, and so yeah, it was a real outlet for me, and I found that I was kind of fairly decent at it, and yeah, I remember us doing this is in year 9, I think, so like halfway through it, we were the first boys to do a dance evening at the school, because it had always been girls. No boys would be in the dance evenings. They have once every month or two.
And what year are we now? Because I know you're quite a bit younger than me, so we just need to...
That was in... Oh, flipping heck.
How old are you now?
I'm 35.
35?
Yeah.
God, you look a lot younger.
I play a bit younger, yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Very, very flattering. Cheers, mate.
But I mean it.
That's very kind. But I can't remember. I can't do the maths. This is numbers again.
No,
I can't go back
right.
to when.
You're 35. That's all right. People at home can do that.
Work that out. I'll give them a bit of a pause to work that out. But yeah, we did relight my fire. Take that. We did the whole routine. My mate was Lulu. It was all boys, and there was a mixture of us, like some more popular boys who were my mates. There's me, who wasn't very popular, and so we all put it on, and it went down like in history. We like to think
house on fire,
and a house on fire. Relight my fire, and people were like, we did it at the assembly, and we thought we're going to get either really bullied for this or this is going to work. Mike was in a ginger wig, playing Lulu, and
But how incredible, at that age at school, midway through secondary school, that you put your balls on the line and do that. Now, do you know what? I don't care if we do.
Well, yeah. I mean, we cared a bit. We were a bit worried, but
you did it.
We did it. And
What was the outcome?
Well, people gave us, because there were, I think, even people that might have just turned their noses up at it might have, because of just the sort of. This is much bigger in my head, but there was there was a good response. It was like my only equivalent of being like performing being Take That, because girls were screaming, and not necessarily me, but there was boys. Yeah, there was the fitter boys. They were baby oiled up. Oh my god! So they were like,
oh, it was proper full on.
It was full on. We were in tight white vests, So they were going for it, and they were loving it. So we got credibility from people maybe that wouldn't have even given us, that would have been like, oh yeah, what you're doing, that's rubbish. It's a girls thing or whatever. So it went down all right, and it was a risk. It paid off, a gamble, and I hope many, many other boys are doing dance evenings there now and ever since.
You paved the way.
I paved the way for one thing.
That's always a risk. Everything's always a risk. It's when you sort of step through the door, I suppose.
Yeah, but yeah.
And academically, great, not so great. You said you weren't brilliant with sort of numbers.
Not numbers. I was all right at English, and then I did English for A levels, college, and whatnot. I think I got they were my only A's. I got an A in drama, English, That's it. And then there was like maybe a C, D, E for maths.
Was the numbers thing, was that anything sort of, it didn't compute with you, or was there something bigger than that?
No, I just thought I don't know if you can be dyslexic with numbers. I've heard that since or recently that you can, but I don't know if I was that or just really bad.
It's funny enough you say that. My wife does say that she is dyslexic with numbers. I don't know if I don't know if that's a medical thing. But
I've just never really. My dad's the same. My
do
mum's
you
not
read
great.
music at all?
Don't know,
because I remember when I was at drama school and I was being taught how to read music, and I found that I was looking at some sort of mass equation. I just couldn't compute. It just didn't sort of click with me.
No, well, I was never good at that either. I remember, like songs-wise at drama school and whatnot, never being good at, okay, there's that, compute those notes into...
Yeah, because I suppose it is like that.
Maybe there's...
Certainly for some people.
Yeah. Maybe there's a bit of a link to that. Yeah, I was never good at that. I was not... Yeah. So I'd have to try and like hear the tune and try and...
Copy it.
Yeah, which I couldn't do either, so I was screwed either way. Basically.
So you did all right when you graduated. I'm just going to pour a little cup of tea if that's upsetting anybody.
I'm going to top mine up as well.
Okay, so you graduated and you got an A in drama.
What was GCSEs?
Oh, sorry,
but then in A levels, I got like I can't even remember what they're bloody.
Did you stay at school for your A levels, or did you move on to a college?
I went to a college not far, literally around the corner. Did A levels. I did performing arts, theatre studies, English literature, and general studies, which you had to do.
The old general studies,
which I failed. I didn't even get an E in. I did try. I think.
It's so general.
It's just general. There's nothing to aim for. Like it's like what do you call it? General knowledge.
Be specific.
Like a quiz.
I want specific studies.
Specific studies. Yeah. So.
And when was the when was the light bulb moment? Was the realization that you went, yeah, I think this is what I need to put tracks down and start making a move towards?
Really weird. I've sort of from. As far as I sound like Goodfellas, as far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to be an actor. But I have, ever since I went to that little drama school at 6 years old outside, in Essex. That's all I've wanted to do. I never even had a backup plan. I never even thought, what about this? Or I might want to do that. I've always literally just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So going to college, it was in my mind. Eventually, I want to go to drama school. I want to, so I did theatre stuff there. I was never really... It's either foolhardy or some people say don't have a backup plan. That's the good thing. So if you got like don't get me wrong, I had lots of side jobs and I still have things I do in between, and
because we all need to earn money at some point.
Yeah, exactly. And I like, but it's all I wanted to do. I liked. Again, that was part of I don't do it really anymore, but teaching drama, working with kids, that's the one thing that I thought, okay, if it doesn't work out, if I don't get into drama school, I really like working with kids. I love preferably teaching drama to kids. I loved it.
And where did you do that?
Again, just around Essex, like little drama schools, before I'd gone to drama school and after drama school, just that were flexible and I did a bit of what's called cover supervising at senior schools around Essex as well, here and there. That was flexible. And you go in, you could be given, that was a bit dangerous. You could cover any lesson. I could be covering maths, and I did. I covered maths. And luckily...
Not your strongest point.
And you'd be given the work to dish it out, but invariably kids would go, what, can I have some help? And I'd go, I don't know about that. I go, tell you what, well, either work it out yourself, like that might, you learn more by doing that. Or like, tell you what, does anyone know the answer to, why don't you work together? And then I brought them together. But
you're bringing back a lot of my school days. I used to have a lot of teachers like that.
A lot of cover teachers that were like, oh my God, I was blagging it. But when I had to teach drama, like invariably I had to cover drama, I was like, yeah, it's great. It's just, and it's a shame that, in schools in general, I'm digressing a bit, that it's not becoming, or it's not because it's not a core subject, it's becoming by the wayside, because I think it's so helpful. And I saw it there when I was covering kids in other classes that were in their shells, maybe even a bit put upon, bullied. And in that class, they'd shine and they'd feel much happier, basically.
Yeah.
Just because of this, you know, it's not for everyone, but it's not in terms of being an actor or whatever. I think it's just a real loss if it does continue, as I think it is, becoming less and less a thing in schools that kids in senior schools do.
In senior schools, I don't know. I mean, I can only go off where my little boy is at the moment, and he's 6, and I know that there's sort of drama on the curriculum there at primary school level, but there's also extracurricular drama. But, you know, it's taken by a teacher that teaches many things. As it is, they can't, at that age, they can't have a specific teacher who just comes in and does that.
That's great.
It's not cost effective, but at least they're getting that, and they're getting some confidence, even if it's not something that they want to do.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that it does bring up, because at that age, and I know we've spoken about this on the podcast with many people, but they're free. There's no rules. They don't judge themselves. They don't comment. They
filter.
They don't censor themselves.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Which is brilliant. Which we're trying to get back to as actors, isn't it?
But, we're all going back all the time.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, that's great they do it. I mean, I'm hoping at senior schools they carry on. Or I don't know. I've just heard a lot about this being taken out of the syllabus so much lately.
That's such a shame
by this government. But yeah, I think it's very important. So yeah,
So when did you start putting down the roots of applying to drama school?
So I had like a year out after college.
What were you doing in that year?
I was just trying to earn some money. I was like working in a pub in Essex.
Just different jobs.
Just
grafting.
Yeah. Knowing that I was going to apply. Yeah, hopefully. So I was just trying to save some money and whatnot. Cause I knew how expensive it was going to be as well. And I was like,
even to apply?
Sorry.
Even to apply to drama school?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Money.
Yeah. And it was, 50 quid a whack or whatever it was. To apply to, so I was like, oh God, how much do I really want to apply to that one? And I didn't know, and I couldn't really ask anyone what ones were.
Did you have anybody advising you?
No, not really. I was sort of doing my own research and looking up people and going, where did they go? And people
who do you admire? Where did they go?
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing. That's what I did as well.
So, yeah, I think that was kind of the best sort of looking. And, so, and saving money and whatnot. And yeah, a few knockbacks, and then got into one in Guildford. I got a call back from Central, but I didn't get in there. And then, I went to Guildford, but I couldn't afford, as I say, like the fees and whatnot. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? If I don't get a scholarship, I'm screwed.
Because there's no grants.
Well, that was the equivalent of a grant. Hang on a minute, scholarship.
But a scholarship would come from.
It was from the government.
Oh, it's from the government.
Sure, it was
not from the school itself.
Oh shit.
I thought you said you were rubbish with mathematics. It's like memory stuff.
Just memory in general. Oh no, I'm rumbled. Yeah.
So anyway, the scholarship. Did you apply for the scholarship?
Yes, I applied for it. After I'd got in, because obviously you had the first auditions to get in. Yeah. And then I thought, there's no way. I couldn't. My parents, bless them, they've been supportive to me so much throughout my career, and they'd do anything to help me, and they have done. And God, gone way out of pocket for me. I
know, but there is such a difference when your parents can be as supportive as they can, that they really want you to do well, but financially, especially in this day and age, those fees are astronomical. Crazy.
Worse now, isn't it? But
it goes. I think it goes up all the time.
Well, I went in. 2002. I left in 2005. So, but I needed to apply for that. But before I got in, I was writing loads of letters. When I did get in, before I had the scholarship audition, I wrote loads of begging letters, basically. I went in the library in Essex, and I found, which I've just remembered, that it must have been the Spotlight books. It must have been the big fat Spotlight. Yeah. And for some reason, they had them in the library.
They had those
in Southend Library.
Wow.
So I raked through them and found just randomly actors I liked. I remember writing to David Jason, Rick Mail, all sorts of people. And I was just like, oh yeah, and I got all their agent and wrote. So I've got all the replies, because a lot of the replies are not from them, but from the agent. But loads did reply as well. I've got ones from David Jason and all sorts, yeah. But I only got one, literally, I'd say 70 letters I wrote. I got one contribution, which obviously was not going to pay for me for drama school, but still meant the world.
Of course it did. I mean, you're not the first person to say that when you get in and you can't afford, you can't just sit on your arse and expect someone to pay. No. You've got to write the letters. You've got to get in touch with those people.
Yeah, and I know they must.
Because at some point, all those people may have been in your position.
Well, exactly. But now I am an actor. I do think, there's a part of me that's like, oh, Christ. Back then, I was like, oh, they're acting. They must be have loads of money. They'll be all right. They can send it to me. So I had a letter back from whoever going, no, I'm sorry. Really genuine letters that would come back. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, fair enough. But yeah, the one I did get back was from Nigel Hawthorne. He gave me 500 quid.
Wow.
And the most lovely letter, which I've kept. And he apologised. He was actually on the board of Guildford as well. He said, I wish you to, I'm sorry it's not more. I'm in hospital. I haven't been able to work for a while. I'm not very well. And my mum read it. She's like, oh, send it back. Oh. So I wrote him a letter saying, oh, please, can I send this back? I won't cash it. And he wrote me back again. No, I insist. And he died very short, weeks, months after that. I never actually got to meet him after I got into Guildford from not being very well. He didn't recover. But I've never forgotten that. It's such a lovely, lovely thing. As I've always had a soft spot for Nige, to say the least, for that. Well,
in a way, he was one of your first supporters. I think that's a lovely thing.
Some random guy writing to you, 500 quid.
But how brilliant that you say you wrote sort of 70 plus letters maybe, but to get that one thing meant the world. Of course it wasn't going to pay for all your fees for 3 years,
no,
but it was more about what it meant.
Oh yeah what it meant, which is it blew me away, and it's still thinking about it. I've still got the letter and everything. It's just just amazing of him. But I've kept that mentality, I think even to now, that kind of I've never really had, in terms of a career, don't get me wrong, you've always got to have a bit of luck and a bad luck, but I've always kept that going to get it, not sitting on my laurels.
Strong work ethic.
Yeah, right into people as well, and not even just in the job, but obviously outside the job. And
does that come from your parents, do you think, strong work ethic? Also, it sounds like your brother as well.
Yeah, they all work their nuts off. Yeah, their nuts off, his nuts off, her, whatever, the equivalent of a woman's nuts off. They all work so hard. So I guess that,
So you applied for the scholarship. What did you have to do to get the scholarship? Actually, I'm jumping ahead. I don't even know if you did get the scholarship.
Yes, did. I wouldn't have been able to get in otherwise.
And what did you have to do? Was it another audition process? I just
did a different speech. Just a different speech to the people that were making this decision, and then I'd sit down and chat, and just to say, why do you want it? What would you do if you don't get it? And I thought I was going to lay my cards on the table. I said, look, if I don't get it, that's it. I'm walking away. I'm not going to audition for any other drama schools. I'm not going to come back here to audition. I'm going to try and just go for it. I'm going to try and act, because I can't afford to pay, and maybe that blackmail kind of worked.
Well, obviously. But you obviously felt within you that you needed to get some more tools in your backpack. You needed to get some more training under your belt.
Yeah, definitely. And Guildford, as you probably know, is quite a...
We've had a few people from Guildford on the podcast. Yeah.
So I learned loads there, and it's very musical theatre, as some may know, some may not. A lot of dance. A lot of people come up there and go straight into sort of West End musicals, and it was never really what I wanted to do, but I was on the acting course, not the musical theatre course. But the acting course was still heavily on ballet every week, jazz, tap. And I was, group 1 to 5, streaming every term. 5 being bottom, I was always in 5. I tried, and I think I would have been even worse had I not gone, and I'm thankful for that. And you learn tools that you can I always knew, maybe I'll use that, maybe I won't, and I tried to soak up what I could.
Yeah.
But all in all, in hindsight, I'm sure that I've learned so much more after I've left. Really.
But you do. You just, I mean, you know, the thing that comes up all the time talking on the podcast is that people never stop learning.
No.
And, you know, and we've, as you know, we've been speaking to people at all stages of their career, and they never stop, and they're still pulling things out of the backpack. They went, oh, jeez, shit, I never thought I'd use that.
Yeah.
And then I was on this job, and I went, I know, I've got a tool for that I learned.
It's horses for courses, yeah. So, yeah, absolutely, in that way, yeah. The things that they chuck lots at you, and what some sticks, and then some, you know, you say you might save for another time. And so, yeah, I learned a lot. But
did you enjoy it, though, even though you were learning? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I did. Even though I wasn't very good at singing and dancing.
You can't be good at everything.
Well, I'll say, like, it's that's it. We got a speech at the beginning. We want you to be Olympians, triple threat Olympians. So I'm just about one threat, barely one threat, let alone.
Look, just focus on that one threat and be really fucking good at that one threat.
But it's handy to have everything, because obviously it opens up more work, and like there's so many actor, musician jobs. But yeah, no, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. But in terms of getting a lot out as an actor, I'm just sure I've learned more since.
And when did you graduate?
2005.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And I didn't get an agent.
Straight away?
No. Like,
how did you feel that? Because there was obviously other people in your year after graduation who were getting agents.
Yeah.
What did that make you feel like?
Well, I'm still like trying to get myself out of I have to remind yourself that it's because you're comparing yourself to your peers and you're seeing what they're doing. And that's a time like that. You're seeing what where's everyone else going, what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it
can feel a bit dog eat dog.
Yeah, totally. And that was not fun. I don't think I chose, or maybe, I don't know, advice is because it's up to me at the end of the day. They couldn't force me to do something I didn't want to do. I don't think I chose particularly well for the showcase. Knowing what I am really now and what I get cast as more now, I think I sold myself down the river. I was like, I gave myself, portraying myself as something that
It's funny though, isn't it? Because during those 3 years, if you're at drama school, you're constantly being pushed into different directions. You go, wait a minute, I auditioned here with this thing within me that I know I'm half good at.
Yeah.
And you saw that, so should we grow with that?
So true. So it is a confusing time, and you do, and you're stripped back, and asked to and I get that, because they want to take away habits and make you more neutral, so you can attack any role, play different people. But
you do need to know your strengths.
Yeah, and I don't, so I think that's really useful to keep in mind. Anyone going to drama school, your core,
or not going to drama school. Know your strengths.
Yeah, either way, you're right. Just who you are. Who you are is your. Well, I mean, sound wanky. Your USP. Because no one is the same as you. No one, obviously. So you're always going to do something.
And it will seem it at times. You go, oh, well, I see the same people in that audition room, or, oh, so-and-so got that part.
Yeah. But, essentially, there's no one that's going to say that line like you do, whatever. So, I think, I'm not sure I chose completely what was me or what was maybe.
And do you feel that hindered not getting an agent?
Possibly. Maybe I was crap that day. I don't even know. But I got one like a month or two. Someone had seen it and got in contact. But it was, and they were very supportive. But, wasn't an agency that could literally come and propel me to maybe...
To do what you wanted to do?
Yeah, straight away. So
how long were you there for at that agency? You don't have to say who they were, it's fine.
No, I was there like 2 years. And I went to another one after that, and it was kind of the same. It was like a tiny step up, but not much of...
And had you got your first job at this point?
I got a first job after I got this agent, so literally 2 months after I left. I got a Kellogg's Crunchy Nut Cornflakes advert.
I think I remember it.
Oh, you do? kidding me.
I do. I think I remember it.
It was like I was selling. They were selling golden minis, giving away golden minis with the crunching up. I was in the back eating a spoonful of cornflakes, giving a wink to the camera. But I was queuing around the block with loads of models, and I thought, I'm not going to get this. No way.
Oh, so it was one of those. It was a big sort of cattle call.
It was a cattle call thing.
Wow.
That's it. It wasn't even through my bloody agent. It was like someone I'd seen.
So you got up off your arse and did that yourself?
It's coming back to me. That's 6. I've never been to any audition or advert audition since. Where you queue up, but I visually remember queuing up round.
Do they still do that?
I don't know. I don't know for adverts. I'm sure they don't. Not that I've heard of.
Wow, and you got it.
I got it, and I was one of the last in, and the director was just like, are you prepared to make a dick of yourself? Because none of these guys are. I was like, I'll just come out of drama school. I'm up for anything. Like, I got me to do random shit that's got nothing to do with the fucking advert, the script, what you had to do, but I got it. I hope it
was all above board.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Nothing like that. It was just like, you're being chased by the police, and then there's a cliff coming up, and you have to like dive before the car goes off the cliff, and then you turn around and you're right. I don't know if he was just taking the piss, but he gave it to me, so I didn't mind. But like,
I take it you've seen the sketch, The Fiery Hall.
Oh yeah. Absolutely that. Yeah, but he gave it to me, so I wasn't so bothered. But like, it was one of a handful of adverts I got. I don't think I got very commercial. I've tried, but I'm not very. I convinced myself when I'm going into them, give it your best.
You've got a very, because we don't know each other at all.
No. I know your missus, and that's...
Of course, but we don't know each other. We've never met until today. And when I first met you, just before we started recording, was your energy. I think you push out mass positivity. You're very happy, you're very smiling, very bubbly, but you're not down people's throats. Right. And I think that's nice. That's quite addictive.
Uh-huh.
You kind of think, oh God, I would want that person in my troupe.
Ah, right.
And I think you're very natural.
Well, cheers, Craig. It's still very... I'm not going to be able to get out that door, man. It's going to be so big.
No, I really mean it.
But thank you. You are lovely yourself. You both are. Griff over there as well.
What's signing Griff?
Both been very welcoming.
Housewife's favourite.
Yeah. Is he? All right.
The ladies love Griff.
I can see why.
Yeah. So how? So you got that advert?
Yeah. But no. I was doing fringe plays, the Old Red Lion, the Hen and Chickens.
Wow.
I was writing out to casting directors, like, again, trying to judge it like a month. I do a mass 10 by 8s, spending all my bloody money on those bloody 10 by 8s, which thank God you don't have to do anymore. Like, I don't have to do so many send outs at the moment, obviously, but which is nice, but people that do, that is an email, which is much better, because you spend so much money printing these bloody things out, envelopes, stamps.
All keep the receipts. That's what I will say to people.
Oh yeah, I didn't do that. Tax, yeah, Christ. Oh God, tax. I was just doing big send outs, but applying on sort of online casting websites. I got the odd thing through my agent.
In a way, you were regressing back to when you'd just been accepted into Guildhall, writing all those letters out. So it kind of never, jump 3.5, 4 years. You're kind of doing that again.
That's it. PCR, if you know that.
Is that still going?
I don't know if it's still going. I don't know.
Used to be like different colours paper, didn't it?
Yeah. And there was ways of sort of cheating if you sort of... A few of you signed up to it at the same time. I don't know.
I remember.
But I didn't really... I found out a bit later on that a lot of the stuff they advertised was like... It had already been cast, filmed, and done. So I'm like, oh, that film sounds good. And then it had already been done. So
I just want to say, we are not saying that PCR is a load of mumbo jumbo.
Not at all.
Just for any lawyers getting in contact.
Absolutely.
It's just a personal opinion from THOMAS COOMBES.
Shit. But like, so yeah, there's that. The free casting call pro and whatnot. Applying, I don't know if you heard of that. Like, there's many. Like, which I'd still advocate free ones that aren't free for you to. I was building up short films like for a show reel, doing loads of stuff unpaid, like so fringe shows.
You didn't. It's great to hear that you never sat by the phone waiting for it to call.
Never. Partly because there was a part of me that I don't know if I would even if I come out and I had like, wow, straight into a lovely part, I think there'd still be a part of me like wants to connect and wants to kind of meet people in the industry and what's next maybe. But definitely a big part of it that it wasn't just handed to me, that I knew I needed to
graft.
Yeah, I knew that. It's just my agent, bless him, lovely, and they both were the couple that I'd had over those 6 years or so after graduating. But I just knew, and they knew, that I was writing to people, trying not to be a pain in the ass, but like to casting directors, producers, if I'd see something, I'd hear on that, and then in the fringe plays, inviting them down. I did loads. Yeah, it's well out of pocket. Like traveling up from London to do these fringe plays on the train.
Just constantly trying to be creative.
Yeah. And I didn't have any telly auditions or anything. Like there's a guy at the Actors Centre bursary I was kind of asked to mentor last year, which is lovely. And he had 2 screen jobs straight out of drama school. And then he had a 3 or 4 month break, and he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm driving myself nuts. I was like, look, it took me bloody ages. You're doing great. It's all right. It's all right. I think it's all comparative, if that's the right word. No, it's
relative.
All relative.
Yeah.
So I was obviously seeing a lot of my peers get work straight away, bigger work, a lot not. A lot dropped out. There's a guy who I thought was the best actor in our year. Not just me thought that. I thought, he's brilliant. 3 months out, he's like, I don't like this waiting around for acting, and I don't like this kind of predictability. So got a job, 9 to 5, really well paid, bang, gone on that. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I still know I want to do this.
I mean, if people are fulfilled by doing that, then they should probably do that.
Yeah, he found out, I thought he's 3 years at drama school, but he just come out and was like, he knew then, after, he's fantastic. But it's happened, and I'd say there's less than a quarter of my year still in it. Still in the game.
And I'm sure that'll drop as the years go by.
Yeah, by the nature of the beast. And different circumstances, obviously family and all sorts of things come into it. But
priorities change.
They do. I haven't got kids, and I've still been able to, my parents have helped me out so much, and I've been lucky, for them to put me up when I've needed to be and try and chip in. And
do you ever get disillusioned with the business and where you are and where it's going and how it's treating you?
There was definitely times, well, still, but not, I mean, in this period of, as I say, I graduated in 2005. I didn't get my first TV audition until 2012. It's a fair old while.
Yeah.
So I've wanted to do it. I like some of my favourite actors.
And sorry to interrupt, had you changed agents prior to this when you first got your first telly? No. I was still with I think my second agent. I was sorry, what was I saying? I've gone completely blank. It's about your first telly audition, I think.
Yeah. So disillusioned. So I was getting a bit like, oh Christ, what have I got to do here? But I still loved it, and every fringe show I still loved, and I was still like, there is still really no backup plan for me. There is nothing else, so I've got to do it.
So you never thought, even in the darkest times, you never thought, yeah, maybe I should.
No, I kind of had this weird faith in me, and maybe it was instilled by my parents or whatever, and sort of plays I'd been in and whatnot that got reasonable feedback in the stage, like a little fringe play. I thought, I'll keep plugging away. So whether that was foolhardy or whatnot, I carried on. But no, and I was definitely like, why is people coming out and doing that? Why am I not getting seen for that? And then why am I not getting... And yeah, it is. It's tough. But I carried on. And I still enjoyed what I was doing. I was never a point where I was doing these fringe plays where I was like, this is... There's the old one where I wasn't so happy about, but on the whole, I loved it.
There always is.
Yeah. On the whole, I loved it. And some of the relationships I've made with them, with writers and directors, that I've still got now through those fringe plays. Jessica Swale was a lovely lady. She's a writer. She's writing Hollywood films and what now, and Anna Jordan, she won the Bruntwood eventually. They're people I met on the fringe. So even though, as I say, disillusioned, yes, maybe that I wasn't getting other opportunities and things I wanted to do in maybe theatres like bigger theatres and any screen jobs at all, still met some lovely people, and
you formed great relationships.
Yeah. And going that route, I'm sure those are things that have stood me in good stead. The people that we've sort of come up in the same way, that have had to kind of haven't got a big job straight away out of drama school. And as we've all sort of worked our way up together, it's been nice in a way. And seeing everyone's progression. Yeah.
Well, man, look, you're certainly progressing now, and I'm really happy things are going well.
Thanks, man.
And thanks for coming on the podcast. I'm
Cheers.
really thrilled. Nice
Cheers.
one, man. You
Cheers
take
for
care.
having us, Craig.
Another episode done. And it was a belter. Thank you again, Thomas, for coming on, spending time and having a brew and a laugh. It was really, really good value. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I'm sure you're subscribed. Maybe you've just joined us after Amanda Abington last week, or you're flicking through the back catalogue, but you want to join us? It's dead easy. Just hit subscribe. You'll get the episodes coming through to wherever you get your podcasts each and every Thursday. If you've got time, maybe you want to rate us and review us, or you want to drop us an email. That's always lovely. We love hearing from you. We have set up a Patreon site as well, because you know that me and Griff just do this from our own pockets. People have been very, very generous, and you're the reason that this is keeping on going. Check it out. It's patreon.com/2shotpod. Nice little video up there as well, explaining what we do, why we do it, and how you can help us. You want to follow us? We're on Twitter @2shotpod, Facebook the same, Instagram the same. Our email is 2shotpod@gmail.com. Drop us a line. I will see you next week for episode 20. It's a good guest. I'm very excited about it. It's somebody... Can I give you a clue? It's somebody who you've been asking for quite a while, and we've tried to make dates work. I'm smiling thinking about it. It was a great episode. So we'll see you next week, episode 20 of the Two Shot Podcast. I've been Craig Parkinson. He's been producer Griff. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. Have a good week. Stay positive and stay creative. The Two Shot Podcast is presented by me, Craig Parkinson, recorded and produced by Thomas Griffin for Splicing Block. Our brilliant music is courtesy of Then Thickens. Cheers.